அண்ணனுடைய மகன் ஜானி லீ ஃப்ராங்க் அவர்கள் முன்பாக வந்து தன்னுடைய தகப்பானரை குறித்து நம்மோடு கூட பகிர்ந்து கொள்வார்கள்.
As I was traveling from Calcutta and coming over here to Chennai, one question was coming very, very strongly in my mind. Why God has to have to permit this to happen at this point of the time? Because I was not ready for that, and our prayer was that He will, successfully cross this pandemic time, this lockdown time, and we can have a better kind of a celebration of His entire life. Because looking back at His life, I see that He has crossed every level with great passion, commitment, with great faith, and such a high standard He set in the journey of faith to all of us in the family. Especially when I was pondering over His life, I saw that He was a very, very loving and a caring daddy. There was love every time. Every time there was love. He used to love us so much that irrespective of what we are and what not the success that we do, but even the failures, He used to always be at the backdrop and He used to push us and give that thrust. You can do it and you will do it. So that's a great support that Daddy was, especially to me and to Jim and to all of us. And he used to say often, it's not about the look of a person, it's not about the personality, or it's not about that particular thing that you hate with a person. You need to see a person as a whole. That even the worst of a person, even the difficult personality will have some good thing in him. That is your flaw if you are not trying to learn on that. So that really helped me also, help us to see the person as a whole. He also wrote a song, மனிதன் யார் என்று உலகில் யாருக்கும் தெரியாது, அவன் இவன் தான் என்று உருவம் கண்டு அவனை இழந்து விடாதே. So don't brand anybody that this is what this person is, and don't capture somebody like putting into our intellectual knowledge and say that this person is that and nothing good will come out of him. But he always saw beyond that, what is that good thing that I can take from him. So when I'm talking about a loving and a caring dad, so he was so kind to us. In our childhood days, we did a lot of mischief. He was disciplining us. And as we grew up, he turned to be a very, very close friend. And I can say that, whatever I used to share to my friends, I've shared to Daddy. And he used to just put the hands on our shoulders, he used to pat and pray with us and counsel and, let us into the right path every time. When we moved to the right or to the left, he was there to bring us back and taught us from the Word of God and brought us, to take on that vision that God created us. So he always used to say that, never lose that purpose or that vision that God has, put in you and that God has created, that you should achieve that someday. So that is number one. Number two is that he was a praying dad. And everybody knows that, Daddy prays extensively, very extensively. And one incident I can share that we were after my married life, almost 5.5 years, we were struggling to have a child. We did a lot of tests. We went to many doctors. And then the doctors told you both are, more in weight and you need to lose the weight. We tried all those things. Nothing was working out. But one day that time I was working with Epicor and we were in the mission field in Gujarat. So it was a very small tiled house. there was a kitchen one side, and then another room. We given that room to Daddy, and Daddy, we thought like Daddy was very tired. He came around 12:30. That I thought like he'll immediately sleep off. He kept on praying. Then by 1:30 I came, had some water and I peeped in. He was praying, and then after that continued 2:30, 3:30, 4:30 till 5. He was there in the knees. And then in the morning when he left the house by 6 o'clock. And he told that God has answered the prayer and God will bless you. So next year will be a blessing for you. That he told that in 2003 and 2004 God blessed us with a baby, and that's a great miracle which happened. So he had that component. So he never used to blow it up, but he sincerely used to pray and very softly used to tell. The way he tells, it looked like it's not going to happen, or it's not so much in depth like that. He plainly used to tell like God has heard the prayer, it will happen, that's it. And many times when I used to come to him and share to him like these are the challenges in job, and he used to pray with me and tell like one word always used to tell like தைரியமாறு. So Kathar வாய்க்கப்படுவார். So God will do it. God is mighty and he is able to do it. Whenever he said that, and that prayer was answered, and always God has helped me through those challenges. And every time we, all four of us, and we were all unique in every way, and we were all different. And now when I see my kids, I understand that how much of pain we have given already to him. So, and I think our kids are giving very less pain to us comparatively what we have given to him. But he was such a strong personality, and he used to take everything to God in prayer. And he used to wrestle in prayer even when we lost Mummy and Jim the same year 1994. And he was a very strong pillar to all of us. And I was broken, I was shattered, because Jim was my very close friend. Ashokanan knows, and many of you. So we were almost like just like friends only. So, and I couldn't take it. I had questions. I was asking God. I was finding it very difficult. I gone through a time of depression, and Daddy was there with me. Every time he used to pray and used to tell like that the strength it comes from God, and it will directly come from God. When Daddy told that simply, I couldn't take it. But after that, when I was trying to get into the word deeply, and he used to tell like you read the Bible thoroughly from cover to cover. So that is the time after 1994 I started reading. And I found that God is able to strengthen us, and he is able to that we are weak, but he enables us to come out of that kind of weakness and be bold and to face the situation, take up the challenges. And that's what I learned from his life. And he taught us, he patiently taught us. It will not come within 1 or 2 days like that. You will try, and then you will get back to those worries again. But constantly when you keep surrendering to God, that he is always there. And the third thing, and another thing in prayer, I want to say that even when he was battling with Parkinson's, so never did he, skipped any kind of 7 days fasting and prayer or 3 days fasting and prayer. Even when I used to tell, thinking that out of love, I'm telling like, Daddy, why you have to, God is already hearing. So you have told enough. So there should be a point that, that you can take some rest like that. He will tell one word, looking at me straight, he will tell, Desam Alidu. So the nation is perishing. Desam Alidu pa. Jobanu, Sabagal Jabikano. So he was so passionate about prayer, and nobody could stop that passion, be it his sickness or anything, whichever challenges it came in his way, he never gave in on that. And third thing that I want to say, share with you, is that he was so sacrificial. And every time there was a component of giving. We sometimes normally when we gather for Christmas, usually we gather in the month of December to have the family fellowship. So we, come up with gifts. So to Daddy also we'll buy some things and give. And even if there is a slight, difference in the color of that khaki color of the pant. So next moment when there is a knock on the door, somebody will come, Tavi, it will go straight, in just right in front of us. It will go just like that. So then I know I made the mistake I shouldn't be so much smart enough to, choose some, very good brand from Raymond's or something else. So, but Daddy was so disciplined, and when he meant it, he really meant it. If it is white, it should be pure white. It cannot be grey. So I like to buy the grey pants for him, and the white shirts, but he'll push it. Then finally he will tell, before I could leave back to Gujarat or Bihar, like he'll tell, like, shall we go to Madasha, like that? Then yeah, okay, Daddy, we'll go. Then he'll go and select that khaki pant there. So then I'll feel somewhat, okay, fine, this is his likeness, so we cannot do anything on that. So very particular. And then he will stitch that, ensure that he's stitching that, and he'll wear that. And the fourth thing and the last thing that I want to place with you is that he was always kingdom concerned. So after he taught us how to do the fasting and prayer in the house. I remember one day I was, arguing with him for a little bit of rasam and rice. That's all I need, and then I can manage. So he told, nothing doing. There won't be any rasam, there won't be any rice for you. You cry out, people are perishing. So you cry out to God, and God should hear the prayer. Even if one person is not fasting and prayer, God cannot accept the prayer. So that's what he taught us. And that hit me, right throughout the life. And when we were facing challenges, when we were experiencing difficulties, that rasam and rice always will come before me. So it helped me to even, wave off to biryani also. So that's the kind of, Daddy's way of connecting with us, and he trained us. And another important thing that he used to do after the fasting and prayer, like he used to, he had that, sense of humor. So he used to catch the, pulse like this and see. So we'll think like, okay, something he's checking like that. So then he'll tell, like, soul winning part is very weak like that. So then how many, people you are able to win for the Lord, and how much time do you pray, and how much time do you read the Bible? So that was not when I was doing 7th standard or 8th standard. That was even, it continued after my married life, and he used to do the same thing, and he used to always cross check on that. So he was a great role model overall, and set a high standard for all of us to follow. And always he will be cherished and remembered as a loving dad, and a praying dad, and a sacrificial dad, and a dad who was crying for the nation, even at the point of sickness. And I remember last time in December that he was holding literally to that walker, Johnson nose, and that catheter, that pipe was going, and that urine bag was there, and mixed with a little bit of blood. And I literally saw that he is doing that exercise. So that really hit me hard. So sometimes, lethargically I start the day, okay, one day if we don't do the exercise, what's going to happen? But when I saw that, I thought that time is very, very precious. So times gone by will never come back. And so that's one thing what we can see in Daddy's life. Whatever he stood for, whatever the principles that he stood for, and whatever the biblical standards, and what he had, the vision and passion, he kept it till the end. Be it disease, or be it any challenge, be it any financial crisis, nothing could stop him. And he always used to say, give, keep on be giving. And don't bother whether it's coming or what. Never look into that fact whether I've given 4 times, whether how God is giving, what, that is not your part. Keep giving and God will do the rest. So with this, I want to close here, and I really want to thank each and every one of you. You all have been great support. Whenever I'm seeing many people here, Subrahmanan, Ashokanan, and many of you over here, I'm not taking names, Sambat is there, and Johnson, of course, always with Daddy, and many others, that we are a family that, God put you all as a channel of blessing, that you have carried us in good times as well as in bad times. I'm really, really thankful for that. Thank you so much.